live in a two-dimensional world.
We won't go in one direction
or seek what we can say.
Choose to be Sonic, the good hedgehog, and try to save the world. Or Shadow, the evil hedgehog, and conquer it. What kind of hedgehog are you?
Choose from an arsenal of 36 weapons and gadgets, and get ready for some explosive action. It's time to go one-on-one against the universe.
Sly and his crew are back, and they're bringing down the house with the biggest heist ever. Yo, slow it down! Hey, please, I dig rappers, not raccoons.
ブリンクスです。レッツプレイブリンクスザタイムスイーパーよろしくね。Xbox。
The platforming genre once dominated gaming in much the same way that the FPS or the Souls-like games do today. Mario kicked off this trend with his iconic platforming adventures, and Sonic the Hedgehog brought it to the forefront, sparking the mascot platforming craze. Sonic's success inspired a wave of other beloved characters and franchises. From Crash Bandicoot inspired the Dragon, your Raymans and your Klonoas, your Ratchet and Clanks, and Sly Coopers. These games offered expansive worlds to explore and endearing characters with captivating stories. Platformers provided a unique form of expression in gaming, and that was hard to find anywhere else. So, why have most of them just seamlessly vanished? It seems that platformers in the AAA space now survive mainly through nostalgia-driven collections, remakes, and the occasional revivals that are quickly faded from the broader gaming community's memory. The only ones that manage to survive are those with strong brand recognition, but even then, they don't sell as well as they used to. So what's the reason behind this? What is the difference between a 3D platformer back then versus today? So, what was the first game to bring platformers into the third dimension? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. It's Jumping Flash.
Let's go, Robin! Jump and go!
This game right here actually beat Super Mario 64 to the punch by like a whole year. In Jumping Flash, you control a rabbit named Robit. Oh, I get it, because he's like a rapid robot guy. That's pretty funny. Exploring semi-open levels to collect 4 jet pods and reach the exit to complete the level. Players must do this within a 10-minute timer, and with faster completion, it earns them even more points. Being the first 3D platformer, it does have some kinks to iron out, such as lacking a proper camera control and using god-awful tank-style controls as well. Additionally, every time you jump, the camera automatically tilts downwards to show where you're about to land. Despite these issues, the game introduced core mechanics of 3D platformers that Super Mario 64 would later refine into what we know today basically. Platformers always offer a sense of expression and flow. There's no one right way to approach them. Are you someone who loves to speed through levels, constantly pushing to shave off milliseconds from your time? That thrill can be incredibly rewarding. Or do you prefer to explore every corner and hunt down every collectible to feed that completionist brain? Many platformers feature simple movement mechanics, but their depth comes from how you chain these moves together to achieve your goals in your own way. You're rarely restricted to a singular path. Your only limits are your skill and creativity, giving the player endless amounts of replayability. Despite all these fun elements, why have most AAA studios aside from Nintendo and Sega moved away from making 3D platformers? I have 2 answers for you guys. A corporate one and a personal one. The corporate one is straightforward and somewhat disheartening. Platformers just don't sell like 10 bajillion copies, you know? Just look at Mario, their best-selling game isn't even a platformer, it's freaking Mario Kart. Studios nowadays are more focused on chasing trends like live service games or more realistic cinematic experiences that will burn a hole into their pocket for a chance of a breakout success, rather than investing in a smaller arcade-like experience that are less than half the risk. And when they do invest in them and the game fails to meet their unrealistic sales targets, they often lay off most of the staff and reassign the remaining employees to projects they might not even be suited for. Like Activision, please stop putting these developers in the Call of Duty mines. And my personal take, based off what my friends who aren't in the platformers told me, is that navigating a fully 3D environment can feel a bit cumbersome. Players might struggle with perception and abstract tasks like managing the camera angle while jumping. Honestly, this might explain why the platformers that have stuck around are either relatively easy like Mario or feature automated segments like Sonic. I guess developers are scared that these challenges might cause players to not want to touch their game. Just look at any Sonic IGN review post 2006.
Times, and it's just a lot of trial and error gameplay that can get a little bit repetitive after a while.
So, is this it? Are platformers just doomed to fail? Trapped in a cycle of reviving old IPs without innovating or taking risks with new ideas? No, not at all. Indie developers are revolutionizing the genre with their innovative ideas. In fact, at least 4 indie games have earned a spot in my top 10 favorite platformers of all time. These games range from nostalgic throwbacks to creative reinterpretations and entirely fresh concepts, all contributing to the genre's enduring appeal throughout the modern years. Indie games may not match the scale of AAA studios, but their heart and soul are unparalleled. Many of these games evoke the same joy I felt as a kid, playing platformers, grinning from ear to ear, immersed in the fun, the world, and the unique character designs. Not you. Go back. Unfortunately, many of these incredible indie games often go unnoticed or remain unknown to the broader audience. Like, the average Call of Duty player will know what a Mario is, but what even is a Neon White to them? It's a shame because these games deserve way more recognition. I'll do my part by highlighting some of these hidden gems, offering insight into what makes them special. I hope you take the time to explore these games and if they resonate with you, or just help spread the word to others. Yellow Taxi Go's Room is a wacky entertaining collectathon where you gather green gears in a vibrant world. The twist? You play as a taxi. Instead of jumping, you navigate by boosting off slopes and walls to reach incredible heights. Gravity Circuit is a Mega Man inspired platformer. I know this one isn't 3D, but it's just so sick I had to bring it up. You control Kai, a robot on a mission to stop the virus army from taking over. In this action-packed adventure, you'll dash, slide, and wall jump through dynamic levels. Uses punches, blows, and a grappling hook to defeat enemies and navigate with the exaggerated swagger of a red robot. Rolling Rascal, as you can already tell, is a high-speed platformer which is inspired by the Blue Blur himself. The game has big open-ended levels with multiple paths and routes to take that you can just run through like a speedrunning god. You can also hijack enemies Crash of the Titans style. It has polished gameplay, smooth animations, a multiplayer race mode. I really can't wait for the release, dude. Death Sprint 66 is an 8-player PvP racer that emphasizes high-speed action and intense obstacle course. Navigate these treacherous environments by drifting, jumping, wall running, and sliding to avoid hazards. Plus, you can mess with your fellow racers using power-ups like this is Mario Kart. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is a semi-open world game that proudly channels its Jet Set Radio influences through its distinct art style. In this vibrant cityscape, you use skateboards, roller skates, and BMX bikes to navigate and perform tricks and grinds reminiscent of classic Tony Hawk. Channel your inner rebel by tagging graffiti throughout the city as you explore and make your mark. Demon Turf is a collectathon platformer that focuses on dynamic movement and boasts a unique art style. You play as Beebs, navigating open-ended levels with the goal of toppling the Demon King. With a moveset brimming with tricks that will rival Mario's. You can either engage with NPCs and explore at a leisurely pace, or blade through these levels using impressive skills, encouraging risk-taking with this exceptional checkpoint system, allowing you to place limited checkpoints anytime, anywhere. I could go on, but there are so many amazing indie platformers out there that I'll be here all day. I hope you'll seek out other fantastic titles beyond the ones I've just mentioned. The 3D platforming genre is incredibly cool and unique, and I hope that someday AAA developers will recognize the brilliance that indie games haven't shied away from. Platformers have been here since the very beginning of gaming, and I hope they're here to stay.